From the outside, the Johnson family looked perfect. They lived in a beautiful house in a quiet neighborhood. Their cars were always clean, their clothes were expensive, and their social media pages were filled with smiling family pictures. People often said, "What a happy family." But no one knew what happened after the front door closed. Inside that house, peace did not exist. Every morning began with shouting. "Who left these dishes in the sink?" Mrs. Johnson yelled from the kitchen. "It wasn't me," 16-year-old Ethan shouted back. "It was your sister." "I said it wasn't me," 12-year-old Lily cried. Before breakfast was even served, everyone was already angry. Mr. Johnson wasn't any different. He worked long hours and came home tired every evening. Instead of greeting his family with a smile, he usually walked in complaining, "Why is this house always noisy? Can't I have one day of peace?" The children would become silent for a few minutes, then another argument would begin. Sometimes it was about money, sometimes it was about chores, sometimes nobody even remembered why they were fighting. The house was full of voices, but nobody truly listened. One Saturday afternoon, Ethan rushed into the living room. "I got the highest score in mathematics," he said excitedly. Without looking up from her phone, his mother replied, "That's nice." His father barely nodded. Moments later, they continued arguing about unpaid bills. Ethan quietly folded his result sheet and walked back to his room. That night, he whispered to himself, "I don't think anyone even noticed." Across the hall, Lily sat alone drawing pictures. She always drew the same thing, a family holding hands and smiling. It was the family she wished she had. Weeks passed. The shouting became worse. Neighbors could hear arguments through the windows. Some evenings, the children stayed outside until it became dark because they didn't want to go home. Home no longer felt safe. One rainy afternoon, something unexpected happened. Mr. Johnson collapsed at work. The doctor said it wasn't a heart attack, it was severe exhaustion caused by stress. For the first time in years, he was forced to stay home for several weeks. During those quiet days, he noticed something painful. Nobody talked at the dinner table. Mrs. Johnson ate while looking at her phone. Ethan finished quickly and disappeared into his room. Lily hardly spoke at all. The house was silent, not because there was peace, because everyone had given up trying. One evening, while searching for a notebook, Mr. Johnson found Lily's drawing. It showed 4 people standing together beneath a bright sun. Above the picture, she had written in large letters, "I wish we were this family." His heart sank. He walked into her room holding the drawing. "Lily," she looked down nervously. "I'm sorry if it's ugly." "It's beautiful," he whispered. "But why did you write this?" Little tears filled her eyes. "Because we only smile when strangers are watching." Her words pierced his heart. That night, Mr. Johnson couldn't sleep. He realized he had spent years providing money for his family while forgetting to give them something even more important: his presence. The next morning, he gathered everyone in the living room. Nobody knew why. He took a deep breath. "I owe all of you an apology." The room became quiet. "I thought working hard was enough. I thought paying bills made me a good father. But I've realized I've been building a house instead of building a family." Mrs. Johnson lowered her eyes. She slowly began to cry. "I've also failed," she admitted. "I've been so busy complaining that I forgot to appreciate what we have." For the first time in years, nobody argued. Nobody interrupted. Everyone simply listened. Then Ethan spoke. "I don't need expensive things. I just want us to eat together without fighting." Lily quietly added, "I want to come home without feeling scared." Silence filled the room. Not the silence of anger, the silence of truth. That evening, the Johnson family made a simple decision. Every night they would eat dinner together. No phones, no television, no shouting, just conversation. The first dinner felt awkward. Nobody knew what to say. Then Lily told a funny story about school. Everyone laughed. It was the first genuine laughter the house had heard in years. Slowly, things began to change. Arguments didn't disappear overnight. There were still disagreements, there were still difficult days, but instead of shouting, they learned to listen. Instead of blaming each other, they searched for solutions. When someone became angry, they took a deep breath before speaking. Little by little, peace returned. Months later, neighbors noticed something different. Instead of hearing shouting through the windows, they heard laughter. Children played in the yard again. Family movie night.
Sunday dinners became everyone's favorite time of the week. One afternoon, Mr. Johnson found another drawing in Lily's room. It looked almost identical to the first one. The same 4 people. The same bright sunshine. The same smiling faces. But this time the words at the top were different. They read, "This is my family now." Mr. Johnson smiled with tears in his eyes. He finally understood something many people learn too late. A peaceful family isn't one without problems. It's one where love speaks louder than anger. Years later, whenever people asked the Johnson family how they became so close, Mr. Johnson always answered with the same words. "We stopped trying to win arguments and started trying to understand each other." Because at the end of the day, a beautiful house does not make a happy family. Expensive furniture cannot replace love. Money cannot replace attention. And shouting never solves what listening can. The strongest families are not those who never face storms. They are the ones who choose to stand together while the storm is passing.